5. FlipSid Tactics, having dropped down by Team Liquid in the beginning of this group, managed to make the comeback all the way through the losers bracket and are now here in this final against Team Secret. I'm Capitalist. I'm going to be joined by CCNC, who's going to be me a co-caster once again. CC, I reckon this is going to be a pretty exciting finals, man. FlipSid have seemingly turned up to this qualifier with the way they just put one over on Liquid pretty hard.
Yeah, for sure. Not having a great start, but getting their act together and really just like playing as a team unit. Russian teams typically are pretty crazy, and do some wacky stuff, but them really playing cohesively and taking it to Liquid. So.
Yeah, they just look all around strong. Their team fighting seems like really excellent. Their positioning. I remember like one was it game 3, I think. There was this moment where Team Liquid was trying to push down the enemy safe lane tower, right? So they were at that bottom Radiant tower, and they did the whole wraparound. Assassin was just so heavily valued, like first pick every single time. is pretty tough. Let's see, we're going to have ourselves a Slark now banned away, the Lifestealer, as well as the Juggernaut taken out of the pool by FlipSid Tactics, taking away some of the more aggressive carries. What about the Warlock here? The Warlock has been another support that's been really rising in popularity. Why exactly?
I think a lot of it is just people realized how strong Fatal Bonds actually is. That spell not really utilized that much in the past, but everybody sort of realized that you cast on a couple of heroes and you burst down like one of the tanky heroes. With a lot of the offliners having pretty high HP counts nowadays, you focus on that hero and it just brings everybody really low. Works well with a lot of the other AoE, especially teams nowadays with a lot of team fights, so a lot of AoE damage, splits even more with the Fatal Bonds. And he's also just a pretty good laner with the Shadow Word, helping keep your carry up if there's like a lot of trades going down.
So because we're seeing so much 5 versus 5, and Warlock is one of those kind of heroes that outputs a lot of, whether it's a little bit of control with that ultimate, a lot of damage with the Fatal Bonds you're talking about, a little bit of CC there with the slow of upheaval, which can be pretty powerful in the right conditions. It seems like Warlock is just like people have realized, like, man, this hero can win us team fights, and that's what's most important right now.
Yeah, and it's also just because a lot of the heroes are very team fight centric. There aren't that many heroes with low cooldown ultimates that can punish whenever his ult is down. You can also shove out the lanes with the rock while you just have the golem walking around, so it's hard for them to get to your towers and try and force something to you while the rock is on cooldown. It's just it's a very small window that you have to capitalize when the ult is down, and when it's up, it's super hard to team fight.
Mm-hmm. Well, Doombringer, there's another sort of support. We've seen him being picked up as a 4 position quite a bit. He's another hero, another support that can kind of single-handedly win you the fight, right, if he gets the right kind of initiation. And again, he actually has the same exact thing as Warlock, which is this really long cooldown that it seems like teams haven't been able to abuse just yet. But the way Team Secret's ramping up, I don't see any long cooldowns. They're kind of shaping a kind of lineup that is always going to be ready to fight and might be able to abuse those 2 long cooldowns of Warlock and Doom.
Yeah, it definitely seems like that's the route they're taking a bunch of heroes that just sort of run at you with a whole lot of disables, Avalanche, Earth Spike, Hex, Fire Blast, just gonna skirmish a lot and try and burst down these heroes with long cooldowns before they can get them off.
Well, FlipSid Tactics, in your opinion, what do they need to... Because Tiny is not a hero that we see a whole lot of. What's going to be value against a Tiny here?
Not really sure. Take My Wild typically plays slightly more farming-oriented heroes, not really too much of a playmaker, so they may be looking for a really strong laner to shut down this Tiny. The Doom may also start mid, try and find one of those golems, just throw a bunch of rocks at him. Because Tiny, if he has a good start, is a really strong hero, but that hero is extremely easy to zone. I think the Tiny may actually be offlane for